Hi everyone, warm welcome to all. On 3rd of March, we have a Leo full moon with a total lunar eclipse at 18 degrees in Purva Phalguni nakshatra, Venus's nakshatra. Expect some visible turning point with this eclipse. See, Leo rules our heart, pride. It's a sign of expression, our confidence, creative expression, also our courage and the part of us that wants to be seen for who we truly are. And because this is an eclipse, the message is simple. Something cannot stay half hearted here anymore. A truth needs to be revealed. Something needs closure with a new standard to be set. This full moon and a total lunar eclipse can show us where we have been protecting our heart and where we want to break free and move ahead in life. Apart from Sun, Moon will be in mutual aspect with Mars at 6 degrees, Rahu at 14 degrees, and retrograde Mercury at 26 degrees. Venus, the nakshatra lord of Purva Phalguni, where this eclipse is happening, is 8th from this eclipse, and it is exalted in Pisces at 2 degrees. Top of it, Venus is heading towards Saturn and Neptune before it reaches its exaltation point. On a positive side, Aquarius sign and the planets in it, that is Sun, Mars, Rahu and retrograde Mercury, has stationary Jupiter's aspect. And when Jupiter is stationary direct, its influence feels very strong and direct. It's steady in nature and it can bring good guidance, optimism, truth with some big revelation, ethical clarity, and a sudden sense of what you need to do or act upon from here. There is a higher perspective being offered that is building quietly with this eclipse. At the same time, the eclipse is happening in Purva Phalguni nakshatra, a Venus ruled nakshatra. And that changes the entire flavor of this eclipse. Purva Phalguni is the pleasure and the purpose zone of Leo sign. The goal of Purva Phalguni is to make our life creative, worth living with love, joy, and surely respect. The deity connected to Purva Phalguni nakshatra is Bhaga, the giver of good fortune, delight, and rightful enjoyment. That is why this eclipse can feel like a karmic audit of our happiness, where we think if we get what we deserve. Purva Phalguni is linked to the front leg of a bed, resting, suggesting some comfort, desires, and ability to relax in life. It also carries a tone of union, some celebration and enjoyment. So when a total lunar eclipse happens here, it can expose the reality in these matters. Observe if our happiness is real, love is at all conditional, or rest feel like guilt to us, and do reflect if we have been giving our heart to things that doesn't truly nourish us. But this time can also bring a reset that feels like empowering, choosing ourselves without any apology, and choosing love that doesn't require to adjust or have some compromise here. See, this eclipse is all about relationship and reputation in our life. As Venus, the nakshatra lord, is exalted in Pisces at 2 degrees and moving towards Saturn and Neptune. In simple words, Venus is strong here, but it also is walking towards a reality check and a spiritual cleansing here. Our relationship becomes very serious. A bond gets refined with boundaries. A fantasy dissolves here. or a reality becomes impossible to ignore now. It's not about rejecting love, it's about refining love. Love that is mature with clarity, and love that can survive in real life. Expect the first clue of the impact of this eclipse on 4th of March, when Virgo moon will be opposite Venus, the nakshatra lord of Purva Phalguni. Something can show up like some new conversation, some answer to our question, some natural signal, some message, a small outcome that show what direction this eclipse is taking. It may not be the final result, but it can be the first confirmation of what is going to happen. And as the moon is making connection with Venus while in Libra, and also while transiting Purva Shada in Sagittarius, we can have some clue. This can also be the time when someone reaches out to us with some support, some relationship changes, or we realize what we truly need to feel respected here. See, this eclipse is closely connected to the retrograde Mercury, Rahu and Mars in Aquarius. Well, Mars and Rahu with Sun, our reactions can be very fast, aggressive, impulsive, little dramatic, or even rebellious. And with retrograde Mercury there, expect some delays, repetition, several attempts for one task. Our words can be very sharp. Decisions can be made very quickly, and we have to repeat things. With Jupiter's stationary aspect on this, it can feel like life is pushing us towards a larger destiny, some positivity, even if it is uncomfortable at first. Another key date is 14th of March, when moon touches Pluto, and both are in Shravan nakshatra for the first time after Pluto entering Shravan nakshatra. This is the time to stop reacting and start listening to the nature. Basically, with this total lunar eclipse, our heart wants some closure with something long held. Accept the reality and have courage to be happy in life again. Now let us talk about this total lunar eclipse, and it will be visible from the East Europe, Asia, Australia, North and South America, then Pacific, Atlantic, Indian Ocean, and also Arctic and Antarctica. This total lunar eclipse starts at the morning 8 hours 44 minutes UTC time. The maximum eclipse will be at 11 hours 33 minutes UTC time, and the eclipse end at 14 hours 23 minutes in the afternoon. The duration of this eclipse will be 58 minutes long, that is almost an hour long. Secondly, this eclipse belongs to the Saros 133 series, and it is the 27th eclipse out of 71 eclipses in this series. Interestingly, all the eclipses in this series is connected with Ketu here. So expect this time to bring some karmic closure certainly. That doesn't always mean some loss or rejection. It means the end of some loop we are going on. The end of repeating patterns, emotional attachment to something that has already taught its lesson in the past. And this pattern repeats roughly after every 18 years. If you can recollect your time and your experiences back in 1972, 1990, and also previous one, 2008, then you may understand the energies this time, how it can be. It's not like history repeats exactly in the same manner, but rather the themes return at a higher level this time. Similar emotional lessons may revisit us. but we meet them as a more evolved version of ourselves. It is as if an old storyline is asking for some final decision. But each time, do remember the eclipse's nakshatra, its sign, also our dasha time period could be different to give different results each time. Let us see how this eclipse will impact us personally, and do check mainly the Leo and Aquarius sign along with Pisces sign where Venus is placed, and also the Venus ruled signs, that is Taurus and Libra, for any impact of this eclipse. Here the natural 5th and 11th axis is activated. So there can be some push and pull between our personal joy or our goals and that of others. We may feel pushed to choose between fitting into a group or standing with our own truth. The kind of love that looks good on paper versus love that actually feels safe internally. See, do keep in mind that this eclipse is not asking us to choose only one side here. It is asking us to align our heart, that is Leo sign, with our future goals, that is Aquarius. This eclipse also can change our friendships, our social circle, our self image, public image, and also our online identity, as Aquarius is heavily involved here. Start with Aries. For Aries, this eclipse wakes up your desires, your confidence, creativity, and your energy in general. You may feel a strong urge to express yourself, take some risk, or finally choose what truly makes you happy in life. If you feel emotional, avoid reacting in that moment, maybe in love or with your children, because your words can become dramatic here. Choose one clear outlet for your energy. Create or start something or share your work publicly. This is the time to avoid your impulsive spending for instant joy. Rather, invest your time in one passion that builds your confidence slowly and gradually. Taurus, this eclipse activates your home, your career, and your emotional foundation. You may feel a shift within your family or your living situation, maybe something related to vehicle, your property, or the way you carry your responsibility inside your home and about all these things. If you notice any tension, don't try to fix everything in one day. Expect some slow release, not a quick repair here. Be cautious about your emotional reactions with your family, as old patterns can resurface here. It's best to declutter, simplify your routine, and protect your sleep, because your stability is your strength right now. Gemini, this eclipse highlights your communication, decision, learning, and all important conversations. Something you hear, you say, or learn can change your future direction, and your mind may be very active here. Be cautious with any quick messages and reacting to it, any online arguments, or any group chat that can create misunderstanding. This is a strong time for writing something, learning something new, planning well, and making a clear schedule. You can go slow for any big announcements, and double check your travel plans, your appointments, and any documentation related work. Cancer. This eclipse brings focus on bringing change within your family, your health habits, your finance related matters, your self worth, and also making your priorities. You may realize where you have been like undervaluing yourself, or where spending has been driven by emotions. Be cautious about your emotional shopping, lending money out of guilt, or accepting less than what you deserve just to keep peace in the situation. This is also a very good time to reorganize your finances and commit to stability in life. Cut one unnecessary expense just to start with. Track your spending for a week and speak calmly here for what you truly need. Leo, this is your eclipse, so it can feel very personal and intense for your all close relations, for your emotions, but also it can be very empowering. You may feel a shift in your image, your identity, how you see yourself, and how others see you, and what you are no longer willing to tolerate in life. But be cautious with any ego clashes here, any pride based decisions, or proving a point just to win the battle. Best use of this eclipse is to choose your self respect over any ego battle. Rest more, stay hydrated, and make one brave decision that supports your dignity and also your long term happiness. Virgo, this eclipse works quietly in your inner world. You may feel emotional release without knowing exactly why, and that is perfectly normal during this eclipse time. Your old fears, old guilt, and overthinking pattern can surface so you can finally let them go. Be cautious about isolating yourself too much or carrying everyone's emotional weight here. This time is good for reducing stress, sleep earlier, better, reflect before your bedtime, and gently end one draining habit that has been stealing your peace of mind. Libra, this eclipse changes your friendships, your social circle, and your long term goals. Best time to update your new skill. You may see clearly now who truly supports you and who only connects when it benefits them. Be cautious about getting pulled into any group drama or trying to please everyone. Choose your peace of mind over getting approval from others. This is a very good time to refine your future goals and align with the right people. Clean up your social media. Reconnect with one genuine friend and write down one realistic goal for next 90 days and achieve it. Scorpio, this eclipse puts a spotlight on your career, your reputation, your home, and responsibilities related to all these. You may feel pressure to perform, show up, or you may receive some attention. It can be good or it can be challenging, and that forces you to step up and speak for yourself. Be cautious about power struggles at work or reacting emotionally to any authority figures. The win here is a right strategy and calm leadership. Update your profile, your resume, set one clear work boundary, and focus on priority that strengthens your long term position. Sagittarius, this eclipse refreshes, rather changes your direction in life, your beliefs, your future plans. You may go for some new learning, some teaching, travel, or expanding your world in a meaningful manner. Be cautious about any restlessness. Don't burn bridges just because you want change quickly. Let this eclipse guide you toward a smarter update. Start a course, learn some new skill, and that supports your career. And take one step toward a bigger vision without rushing into anything. Capricorn, this eclipse brings up hidden matters about trust, relationship, money, any emotional attachment with some inner transformation. Something hidden can surface here, an unspoken stress, some fear, or an emotional burden you have been carrying quietly for a long. Be cautious with your loans, taxes, your investments, health, or any family chaos. Check and read everything twice. Emotionally, avoid controlling everything. Allow honesty to create closeness and organize your paperwork. Simplify your finances and have one calm conversation with your partner that clears the air and brings you peace of mind. Aquarius, this eclipse highlights your partnerships, your close relationships, marriage, any business ties, and close one on one connections. You may see clearly what is balanced and what is not here. Some bonds deepen through some honest truth, some talks, some clear boundaries, and some bonds weaken if they were held together just by disagreements. Be cautious about becoming emotionally distant or escape and disappearing when things get intense. It is best to choose boundary, compromise, communicate calmly, clearly, and keep your action consistent rather than dramatic. Pisces, this eclipse brings attention to your daily life, your spending, your health, and your work routine. You may realize that your body needs better rhythm now, and your mind needs less of chaos. Your work pattern may change from here, or you may have to redefine what you can realistically handle. Be cautious about any burnout, overpromising yourself, or carrying out responsibilities that are not yours. It's a very good time to fix your sleep schedule. Drink more water, add some gentle daily movement, and create a simple weekly plan that you can actually follow. That was about the personal impact on all the signs. Overall, this Leo eclipse demands our courage, our self respect to be kept, and the truth should come out. So, your future can move forward with less of emotional weight and more of clarity in life. Some emotions reaches their completion, so something more authentic can begin. Venus here encourages to stay grounded and graceful, most importantly, in any challenging circumstances. Release what no longer honors your self worth and choose courage over any ego. Let clarity guide your all the steps. Trust this process. What is living has finished its role, and what is coming is aligned with our destiny and our true power. That was all about this significant total lunar eclipse in Leo. I hope this was helpful. Best wishes to everyone. Thank you for your time. Do share your experience in the comments and stay tuned for next update. Thank you.